I apologize if I've become a bit disheveled these days. Not very proper and prim. Hey guys, welcome to the Road to 40. I'm Jason Oliveira, in case you didn't know. Yeah, it's actually my middle name, in case you didn't know. Oliveira. No, it's Andrew. Jason Andrew Oliveira. It's not a bad name. Whatever. Oliveira. Rather it be a crown and shield. That would have been awesome. I am going to get my hair cut. I've been trying to get my hair cut. Like, I can't seem to get my hair cut. Friends of ours, the Costanuses, their daughter just graduated from cosmetology school, or she was working at a place. Very inexpensive haircuts, and I don't need anything crazy. I just want it short on the sides and a little longer in the front, and just get rid of the back. That's about all I care about. But she was supposed to call me back like 3 weeks ago and let me know her schedule, and she got another job in the meantime, working in a restaurant or something like that. So I guess I'm back burner. And my friend Xander, who he does hair and makeup for movies and stuff like that, he's out of town. I think he's in Indiana right now filming something. So it's like, okay, strike two. Now our keyboardist in our band, he one of the best haircutters around as far as I'm concerned in Lynchburg, Virginia, Dana. But I feel awkward asking him because now we're in a band together. I don't know. Like, if I was doing an art service for him, I wouldn't charge him. So I don't want to assume, though, that I could ask him for a haircut, because he does high-end haircuts. He gets a lot of money for haircuts and does an amazing job and deserves to get paid what he does. And I've gone to him a few times and been absolutely astounded with his quality, but I can't afford those anymore. So that's why I was gonna go with Sarah, because they were like $5 there. Plus, even if I tipped her $15, $20 haircut's not bad. And Xander, he'd probably do it for free, but I'd give him money anyway. And Dana, I would do the same for, obviously. But I don't know. I don't want to be like, yeah, could you cut my hair for real cheap? That would be like somebody asking me. I'm not gonna get into it. It's just not worth it. You do friends favors, I think. That's what I say. I don't know. I had a horrifically bad day today. Like, nothing specific, but everything in general went as bad as it could go. Have you ever had one of those days? First and foremost, let me get to the root of the problem. I'm going to get a little geeky here. I have a solid state drive for my operating system and for Photoshop and for this. That's all. Oh no, and Premiere. That's the only things I run off of that. But a lot of app data gets shoved into a folder called app data, local, and roaming. And so you can move the locations of those folders to other places, or you should be able to with Windows 7. I did it. One of them went fine. A few files couldn't move, but I was like, fuck it, I'll deal with it if I have to. It's probably some program I downloaded. I don't even remember at this point. And the local didn't, though. So one was located one place, one was the other. I tried it several times. I tried rebooting. It finally got to the point where my computer restarted it last night. I was still uploading the files. It was later that I got done with these, so that's why I didn't have them up early. I'm sorry. And I looked at it, I was like, God damn it, the stupid computer rebooted overnight, so now I have to re-upload the files. Well, thankfully they had finished, so they were actually uploaded. I just had to fill in all the info and upload the little thumbnail for the video. But everything went to hell after that. The little symbol that shows when you're hardwired or wireless connected to the internet. Mine had a red X through it, which means you don't have a connection. But I did. I had a perfect connection. However, I couldn't share my connection with anybody over the Wi-Fi. Problem number one. Not too concerned. I have a connection. I'll figure it out. It's not that hard. I double-click on my computer, and it gives me an error. I can't double-click on anything. I'm like, oh, God, why? So I right-click and I go to open, and it works. I'm like, you got to be fucking kidding me. What the hell is this? I thought maybe it was a virus at first. I wasn't thinking that I had moved those files and I hadn't finished moving those files. So I finally I'm just at the point where I'm almost gonna format the hard drive. I literally put the disk in, boot it into BIOS, and reset it to go to CD first. Got in there, hit upgrade or a custom, I think it is. I did upgrade just to see what would happen, and I think I ended up having to back out and do the other option, the custom. But it wouldn't let me select the C drive, so I couldn't do like an install over it. I had to format it. And I was like at that point where I'm like, all I gotta do is hit a button and all my worries go away and everything will run a little bit faster and I'll be thrilled with the outcome. However, there's a million things that could go wrong along the way with all the hardware I have hooked up and software I have to install again. Needless to say, it would have been a nightmare. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to give this one more shot. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the files that I'm going to make sure local is on C and roaming is on C. The only reason why I did all this is because these hard drives are a little bit more expensive, and I got this one about 2 years ago. And so it's only 128 gigs, which after the operating system and Premiere and Photoshop and this doesn't leave a whole hell of a lot of room. And so I got to the point where it was always red. I couldn't install anything like that would require putting anything on that drive. And so I finally, I'm like, you know what? I've got to figure a way to get more space. And that was the decision I came to, was to move my app data. Isn't this an exciting story? I know you love it. You fucking love it. Do you like the microphone chicken? He loves you. I don't mean to creep you out. So, I had to go to the grocery store. So I set it up to move local back to C. So both local and roaming would be on C. I was going to reboot, and then I was going to try everything again. I moved all those files. Got home before it was done because there was a message on the screen asking me if I wanted to skip a file because it kept stopping or something. So I said, yeah, just skip it, whatever. And finally, about half hour, 40 minutes later, it finally finished the process. I rebooted, went back in, everything was fixed. That's the only good thing that happened out of that whole story, though. This is, I mean, we're talking about 8 in the morning until about 1 in the afternoon, roughly. I was working on this, and I don't have time to do that. So I had to let the kids watch a lot of TV today, which I don't like doing, but, I mean, it's not as bad as I think everyone insinuates that it is. And Grayson loves to read. He's a great reader. He's smart. He's homeschooled, and he's doing fine. So, F off. Naysayers. What's next? What went wrong next? I'm not going to go through all the details. I'm not going to bug you with my horribly boring day. I felt terrible all day today. My stomach was not feeling well. And like I said, just every little thing. Like, for example, I went to go buy a bag of combos for Carol at Walmart. She likes the pizza ones inside of the pretzel things. They've been sold out of those fuckers for like, well, since I bought the last bag. The only one they have is the 7-layer dip. I love that one. She doesn't. So I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. I gotta go to a third store today because I had to go to Target today to pick something up. No, I didn't. I guess I didn't. But what I did end up getting there, you're gonna hear all about later tonight if you come back for what's on the menu tonight. So I had such a bad day. I said to my wife, I said, is there a full moon tonight or something? I said, I swear. And she kind of looked over it, and I was just like, everything I did went wrong today. Everything I tried to fix broke way worse. And she said, you know, that happened to me today, all day today, too. And it got me thinking about full moons and superstitions in my family. Now, I've told you the story, but if you go back and you watch the video, I'm 1/8 elf, or elven. I can't remember what it's called. It explains the story a little bit better. But if you go back in our family to the Irish side of things, my great-grandmother, who lived in Ireland, came here, used to talk to my mother about being able to see things that other people couldn't see. And my mother would tell her, you know, there's a girl, she comes and she sits at the end of my bed every night, and she's very comforting. She doesn't talk or anything like that. And her grandmother, my great-grandmother, looked at her and said, that's the fae in you. That's the elf in you. Like, I mean, when I think of old people, I don't think that they think of things like that. But to me, that's awesome. Like, it's fantastic that people believe that. Like, I want to believe that. I want to believe there's real magic and that there are elves and dwarves under the earth and there are dragons sleeping and one day it'll all come to a head. I don't know. I'd love to believe that. I just don't know that I do. But when I hear stories like that, it just sets off that whole superstitious, supernatural, spiritual side of me that sometimes I let lay dormant for years and years and years. And back home, I was heavily, I don't want to say into, proactive about discovering more about the supernatural side of life and ghosts. And I mean, so many people in my family claim to have seen ghosts. There's the ghost cat. I don't remember what episode that is, but there's a cat that was a ghost in my house, supposedly. I don't know. See, now I think back, I'm such a stick in the mud these days when it comes to that. I don't want to, like, I want to believe, but I don't believe. Like, I don't believe in anything. I just don't believe in Santa Claus. I don't believe in lies. I don't believe in anything because I am the Frizzle Fry. Little Primus. I probably got that wrong. Nonetheless, like, when days like this happen, it's those moments where I'm like, you know, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe shit is a little weird and different and crazy. Maybe there are ghosts, and maybe ghosts aren't a bad thing. And I don't know. Maybe there's unicorns hiding out there. Maybe there are fairies living amongst us that we don't see. I know it sounds weird, but we can't disprove it. You know, science can't prove everything. They can prove just about everything, I will say that, though. I'll give science that. Gotta give props to science. Pound it, science. That leads me to believe, well, my final point here is, like, it's wonderful to think about these things. I grew up in a very, you know, supernatural area in the world, in the, not the Bermuda Triangle, the Bridgewater Triangle in Massachusetts. And a lot of crazy shit went down there, like weird sightings and things like that. It's just one of those supernatural hotspots. Maybe it's because people are drawn to that, they move there or something. Or maybe it really happens. I don't know. Maybe Bigfoot's in my backyard, watching the road to 40 right now. Hey, Bigfoot. No, that'd be great. Next week, we're going to have a guest host. It'll be Bigfoot. What does a belief in a supernatural world say about you or I as an individual? Most people probably think you're crazy. Like, I work with mostly pretty free-thinking people at work, but there's a few that are a little more straight shooters, and I like talking about nerdy things and video games and, you know, just stupid things. I do. I like talking about TV shows and my kids saying penis, and I like doing things like that. But what does a belief in a supernatural realm say about me? Like, I would think the people who hear me talk about that stuff and don't believe in it probably think I'm crazy. I mean, it's not like I talk about it very often either. I just tell stories about growing up. Nowadays, like I said, I don't know what I believe in, but I think it goes one way or the other. Either somebody has a very high respect for you, because I know a lot of people that don't believe in fairies and elves and dwarves and dragons, but they do believe in an energy, and how you live your life reflects out in the universe. You know what I mean? I don't know what I mean, to be honest, but like, and I think it's just that one next step. But I think people from that walk of life, people who do have a deeper spiritual control of their self, you know, I don't know. I think they accept things like that more, whereas people who look in on, like, for example, I had a friend of mine post on Facebook the other day that they said they couldn't believe they heard a conversation about two guys playing D&D at Home Depot the other day. And I thought, you know, that could have been me. It wasn't, because we're several hundred miles apart. But I've had that situation before. When I go out, very rarely when I go out with people, that's usually what I talk about, is nerd stuff, D&D games. Now, I don't talk about specific stuff. There is a fine line. I have to make a stance before we wrap this up tonight. Being a geek and a nerd and all that's fine and acceptable, far more acceptable than ever it was. But when it comes to role-playing, there's a very fine line that people walk. I love taking on the role of a character and playing Dungeons and Dragons and trying to be successful doing good stuff. However, there's always a twist to my character. However, I don't talk about it in public places where I don't feel comfortable or I feel like I'm going to be judged. I know I shouldn't feel that way. Like, it should be fine. But if I was in Home Depot and I heard two guys talking about D&D, if I felt, you know how sometimes when you see somebody or talking or whatever, you're like, oh, yeah, I agree. And you might just poke your head and go like, yeah, you got it, and walk away or whatever. I might do something like that if I felt that comfortable with it. But there are some people who step over that line. Like, it's okay to talk about D&D in public. It's okay to talk about a character you may have played. But when you start talking about the deep stories that you've been through, like it's your life, then it gets a little weird. I think you know what I mean. Like, most people or everyone that I've ever played D&D with, except for maybe 2 people, knew to stay on one side of the line if they wanted to be accepted in public. And you don't have to be. You don't have to be. There's nothing wrong with not being accepted in public because you talk about your D&D character like it's you. That's fine. I'm just saying, for me, there's a line that separates, and if I stepped over that line, then it'd be my downfall. I've been thinking about applying at some of these RPG type things as a writer, as an editor, as something that I could do, and still be involved. I mean, maybe do some little art for them or something like that. I've never thought about it, and I've been like focusing so much on California they're in Washington. Wizards of the Coast is. That, like, I forget sometimes about things like that. Like, I could be trying to apply for other jobs that I would enjoy doing, whether it be artistically or any kind of creative output. Hey, I'm cool with that. So if anybody knows of any jobs out on the West Coast, preferably California to Washington, anywhere in between is fine, let me know. I need to get the hell out of here. I need that change. You know, I think we just get to that point, explorers at least, when they're like, damn it, I don't want to die here, don't want to die here, gotta move on, gotta make those steps. Get a little nervous sometimes as you get older. Well, I am getting older. We're heading towards 40. It's midlife. Average lifespan. I'm hoping I live as long as I'm healthy, and I hope that's a long time. Especially because I don't know what happens after this. If you get the answers, put them in the comment below. I think it would ease my worried mind. You guys have a great night. Thank you for always coming back. If you're loving these as much as I'm loving doing them, please subscribe. Pass them along to anybody who you know who might also enjoy them. If they're 39, it's a huge benefit. I've seen a few particular guys out there sharing the videos for me, so thank you very much. Don't forget to make somebody smile tomorrow. Make yourself a better person than you were today, tomorrow, and let's make the world spin a little bit happier together. I'm Jason Oliveira. This is The Road to 40, and I'll see you a little bit further on down the road. There's something else I wanted to say, but what are you gonna do? Oh yeah, if you want to follow me on the Twitter / or at Jason GEYCEN, or on the Facebooks GEYCEN, or Instagram GEYCEN. It's always at Gmail if you need it. Alright, you guys have a great night. I'm going to see you in a few minutes because I got a very, 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 very special what's on the menu tonight for you. I think it's special. Maybe I should wait until the first day of fall. Should I? No, Jason, don't wait. Alright, I'll do it. I'll see you guys in a few minutes. Have a great night. Click.